So I wanted to make something on the laser cutter, and well, I've got all of these scrap neon acrylic pieces that kind of look like light bulbs or something. So I decided I'm gonna make something using these. Now the trick is, since these are already cut out, in order to line up my design so it's perfectly centered, it's going to be a bit challenging, but I think I figured out how I'm going to do it. Now, I've drawn up a design here in Inkscape, which is a free vector graphics program. And in order to help me line this up, just to scale things properly, I've created the circle and then this little tab coming out of the bottom. And I did that by measuring one of these pieces and aligning things. So that just helps me get the right scale so that I know it will fit. Now what I want to do is make these things and engrave them first onto the cardboard lightly. Then, since this is transparent, I can line it up. Now there's a guy who this K40 laser engraver that I have here came with some software for engraving, but it doesn't run on Linux and it's not open source. And so I actually found a guy who wrote a Python implementation that can connect to this all, and it's called the K40 Whisperer software. It's free and you can download it. So that's what I'm using here. I have imported my Inkscape SVG file, and I have lined up with the buttons here so that the laser is right down here, and so I've lined it up. This little dot is where it's going to start. I'm going to move this out of the way first, and then we're going to just lightly engrave what I want to do. To get that little dot of the starting point, I can just make sure the laser is on and then tap the test switch and we'll get a dot. So to start, I'm going to turn the power down even below the normal engrave setting, and let's go ahead and launch a Raster Engrave. So the Raster Engrave will it'll engrave all of the black, solid black filled in parts that are in the SVG. I couldn't really see the laser engraving happening, so I adjusted it a little bit so that it just starts to burn the cardboard. You can see it burning in that little template that I'm going to be using later. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the vector cut, which is the red parts of the SVG, but I'm going to do it at an engraving power. Okay, so now we've got the holes there. And with that there, I can now put one of these little light bulb things in, and now I can see perfectly to line it up. Okay, so now I'm going to turn the power up to full engrave based off of, I just created this little sheet here that tells me the materials I've worked with, just a little bit of a reminder of what power and speed to use. And so here we go. Raster Engrave, let's go. There it is, in perfect alignment, just where I want it. Look how cool that is. Right in perfect alignment. Alright, time to do the cutting. My sheet tells me turn it up to 50% power. I'm going to run it at 11 millimeters per second 2 times. Cut. Okay, that was one. One more time. I don't think the holes quite cut all the way through, so I'm going to do it one more time. There we go, now they definitely did. There we go, it's perfectly aligned, and I've got my holes in there. Looks like once I punch the paperclip through, it'll be exactly So that's some of the software and techniques that I use when I'm laser engraving and cutting things. One other thing you want to do is make sure you clean the lens every time you use the laser engraver, and you also want to make sure that your mirrors stay clean. You should have one here, here, and somewhere back there.